Okay, go ahead and give a countdown whenever you're ready.
Alrighty.
Good luck.
Thank you. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, so for the next 30 minutes, we're going to be doing things a bit differently, whereas everyone else on the schedule will be speedrunning something. I mean, it is called Speedruns for Charity. We're not actually speedrunning anything. This is more of an exhibition of high-level competitive Tetris and Puyo gameplay. And by competitive, I mean versus mode, which is like a head-to-head try to top each other out type of mode. For this demonstration, I'll be accompanied by Blink, one of the top players in Puyo Tetris. So before we jump into the high-level versus play, I'll be covering some of the basics of Tetris first, and then later on we'll be jumping into Puyo. But let's go Tetris first, the game that we all know of. Right, so we'll be up against the CPU for this to make it easier. Okay, so first things first are the names of the pieces. Just so that you guys know what to refer to them as. This one is the Tetramino, the T-Mino, T-piece. Alright. This one is the J-piece. As you can see, they're really just named after what they look like. This is the Z-piece, Z-Tetramino, Z-Mino. This is the I-piece. A lot of you will probably just have called this the long piece. This is the L-piece. L-piece. And this is the O piece. Alright, now with that out of the way, alright, in Tetris, most of you already know the goal is to clear the lines horizontally, to have them clear from your screen. That is the basic goal of Tetris. Before we get into clearing lines, we'll talk about what other features modern Tetris now has. On the right hand side, you'll see that we have a bunch of next stuff, so that's basically, you know, what pieces, whatever you're gonna have coming out next. Huh? And there's also the use of a hard drop, which basically just drops your piece right down instantly. That is also a thing you can do. And then there's the hold function, which can allow you to swap out your current piece with whatever is in hold, so that you can use it later. So let's try that out. Oh, use hold. And hold this. Okay, and that's easy enough. One last thing to note, the game works in a 7-bag system, which means that for every 7 pieces you receive, it will be 7 Minos, and that's how that works. So you can see each of the 7 pieces are actually there, and then once I use them up, yeah, whatever, I'm just stacking randomly, you can see there's a fresh new batch of 7 pieces. Right, so let's get into line clearing. The goal of the game is to top out your opponent. How do you do that? You send garbage to the opponent. And the way you do that is clearing lines. So let's see, how much will a single send? Single, well, you should know, it means just one line. You send one line to the opponent, right? Sorry, one line's not going to do anything. Let's try sending something with 2 lines. Yeah? Call this a double. There we go. There's a double. Alright, that sends 1 line to the opponent. And then the next step up, of course, is the triple. 3 lines. It sends 2 lines to the opponent. And then last but not least, we have a Tetris. 4 lines. Okay, I'll wait for the opponent to send me lines first. Here we go. Tetris. 4 lines. 4 lines to the opponent. Now, a special thing about Tetrises, and what we'll talk about later, T-spins, is that they usually send 4 lines, but there's this thing called the back-to-back bonus, where if you keep clearing lines, keep clearing Tetrises and T-spins without any breaks in between, you'll get this back-to-back bonus, which will send basically an extra line with each line that you do with it. So a Tetris, instead of sending 4 lines, will send 5 lines. Have a look at that. Ta-da! And one last thing before we move on is garbage blocking. So you can see how above my screen I have this 1 dot, which means I'm going to receive 1 line. What if I defend from it? Because if I clear a Tetris, it's meant to send 5 lines since I still have the back-to-back going. So it will send 4 back to the opponent, right? Or, well, just 2 because they send some garbage. But you can see how you can counter the garbage that is still above you. Right? Yeah, basically you just got to top out your opponent by clearing these lines. But there is another very helpful mechanic, and we call these T-spins. Now, let's try this out. So, what I've done is created a T-shaped hole. I did it a bit fast, sorry. Just natural now. And you see how I put the Z piece there in order to create the overhang for the T-spin. So let's try this out. This is going to be a T-spin single T-spin and clearing a line. So you soft drop the piece in place and then you rotate it like this. There we go. That sends 2 lines and it gets the back-to-back bonus going, or maintains it. Now let's go for a T-spin double. Keep in mind you need the overhang, because without it, it's not going to do anything. So the overhang. T-spin. That sends 4 lines, or 5 if you have the back-to-back bonus going. And last but not least is T-spin triples. Now these are going to be a little weird to get your head around, but not to worry, it'll be fine. I'm going to use a setup we call DT Cannon. A lot of higher level players use this, but it makes it so that it's like, it's a bit of one of those techniques that you just see a lot of people going around doing. So yeah, here we go. Basically you do a T-spin double, and then you lead into a T-spin triple. Now, how in the world does my piece go in there? It just does. Just don't question it. That's the rotation system for you. And that sends 6 lines to the opponent, or 7 if you have the back-to-back going. Yeah. And because of this rotation system, you've already seen a bit of the weird stuff we can do with it. Why not show you some other spins? So, one more thing that can send lines is the perfect clear. And that's basically if you clear your board of all your pieces. This setup here allows you to have a high chance of clearing a perfect clear. So let's do this. Now we're going to do an S spin. You ready? Alright, let's go. Woo! That sends 10 lines. Perfect clear sends 10 lines. But the sad thing about it, or like the disadvantage of sending 10 lines is, with a perfect clear, is the fact that perfect clears tend to send pretty nice garbage. Like you can get 10 lines in a row. That will be like just a straight line. That didn't happen this time around. During my practice runs it did, and it was crazy. It was silly. It's really silly. I don't know what the percentage is, but there is a chance for it. And that just about covers it for Tetris, doesn't it? I believe it does. Anything else we have to mention? No, not really. Let's just finish the CPU off now. Okay. Okie dokie. Love S&D spins. It's great. They're wonderful. Wonderful. Wonderful things. Then you can use setups like TKI, which I'm going to use here, eyepiece here. Create the overhang in advance if you don't get the piece in time. The L or the J gets plopped up against the wall. This gets filled in. Plop this against the wall. You can also do wall kicks like this. Instead of just going in normally, there's a faster way to do it. Since we have the wall there with the J piece, you can kick off of it like that. It's silly business, but it's great. Yeah, that is how Tetris works. Pretty different from what you'd imagine if you had played the original versions, the classic Tetris. But otherwise, yeah. The last thing to mention, actually, no, I was gonna forget something. Something called, and that's if you line clear consecutively, you will send a lot more garbage because there'll be it'll be a combo. So we're gonna use 2 wide for this example. So you set up a well that is 2 wide. That's the simplest way to put it. Okay, so let's try this. Okay, so you see here, singles usually send nothing. They'll send 1 line. And then the further up you go with your combo, the more lines you'll send. See? Singles are now sending me heaps of garbage. And then I could just keep going from there. So combos are very helpful, especially during down stacking, which is basically where getting through garbage. Just gotta warm myself up for a Blink. Blink is, I'd say, a better player than I am, but I can take rounds off him, so those games should be exciting. Alright, and that nice O. Now we're gonna move into Puyo Puyo. Yeah, the blob game, the other game. You may know this from no, let's not learn 4 wide. You do that on your own. You can go do that. I only ever use it on defense because I think it's mean. So yeah. Anyway, blob game. This is the best blob game. So basically, yes, we are now learning about Puyo Puyo. You may recognize this game from Dr. Robotnik's Vending Machine, or Kirby's Avalanche, also known as Kirby's Ghost Trap, or you may know it from Puyo Pop Fever, which is a pretty old game by this time, but it was also localized. And the aim of the game is to not reach the X at the top of the screen, because then you lose. You can stack all around it as long as you don't reach the X, then you're okay. Okay, so what do we do to get the opponent to the X? You send them garbage, but before we get into the garbage, let's figure out how to, you know, clear stuff. So unlike Tetris, instead of clearing lines, you're clearing colors. So clear 4 of the same color, and that, you know, that clears your piece. Look, I sent them 1 garbage. See? Look at that. So pro. No, that's not gonna take you that far, honestly. I mean, you can do crazy stuff like really powerful 1 chains, but what you need to do is eventually reach the point where you need to learn chains. So, for example, a 2 chain will send much more than a 1 chain. You see how the pieces have fallen together? It sends more. Oh, sorry. My stream alerts I think are still going on even though I disabled them. It's really silly. Sorry about that. Okay, so basically, Puyo's garbage system works exponentially. So basically, what it does is, for every chain link that goes up, your garbage will go up much more. So you've seen how like a 2 chain sent about a row of garbage, 6 garbage-ish, approximately. What about a 3 chain? So let's start with a fresh board so we can see what's going on. Let's do a 3 chain. Alright, so it went from 1 garbage to 6, because that's a row. A 3 chain sends around about 3 rows of garbage. So that's 18, right? You can also see, just like with Tetris, there is a garbage indicator above the board that tells you how much you're going to be sent. A little one means just 1 garbage. The garbage with the face means 6 garbage. So okay, let's do 4 chain. Okay, I need yellow. Okay, well we get green yellow. That works too. 3, 4. That sends about a rock and a bit more. A rock is worth 30 garbage. And as you can see how he received the 30 garbage before receiving the little extra, that's because in Puyo Puyo you can only receive 30 garbage at a time for each piece you place. Because, well, otherwise you just like fill up too quickly. And you can also use that to your advantage with things called counter builds, but we won't look into them today. So, as you can imagine, a 5 chain, yeah, a 5 chain back in original Puyo Puyo rules, it was instant kill. You really couldn't do much after a 5 chain was 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, look, 2 rocks. And you can imagine, like, you wouldn't be able to do much after that. Except, we have something called garbage blocking, or neutralizing, or offsetting, whatever you want to call it now. We'll use the core AI to demonstrate this. You can hold L to do this. It'll do the ding, and that means you've got the core AI activated. And that's basically like hardest CPU. Alright, so let's try this out. So, we'll build some chains, and then in a bit I'll teach you like a basic chaining form that you can use. And forms are just like patterns that have been created that can help ease the process of creating chains, because you're working off of, you know, like a pattern. Okay, so we'll wait for the opponent to send stuff. Then I'll show you the fact that like I can still offset it while it's above me. What are you doing? Huh? Are you... Okay. The core AIs are very weird sometimes. Okay, so it's only got a 6 chain. And you see how it's still garbage? Oh, it's an 8. That's sure. It looks like I've got an 8 as well. Right? And you see how I counted his chain. If you don't counter the chain in one go, the remaining garbage will fall on you straight away. You won't have any other time to react. right? We'll just do one more to demonstrate that, and then I'll teach you a basic chain form that we call stairs. And then it's time for some exhibition matches with Blink. We will be playing Puyo, Tetris vs Tetris, and then we'll play some Puyo vs Tetris. And then, that would be the end of it then. But they're gonna be really good matches. It's always fun for us to play with each other. Oh, yes! One last thing. Okay, 9 chain. Okay. 8. Okay, so Puyo, oh, nice. Okay, see, look, it instantly falls. Okay, so there's this thing called the all clear bonus in Puyo. So just like Tetris, it will send a lot to the opponent once you set it off. Now, how much did an all clear send? Just a rock. He wasn't ready. And so a rock, as I said, 30 garbage, 5 rows worth, and which is the maximum. If we talk about swap mode, we won't be playing swap because basically Blink's Puyo skill isn't at the point where we can do like big Puyo vs Puyo matches yet. Eventually he will reach that point. We know that he'll get there. But until then, we'll stick to whatever is going to be best to watch. And yeah. Okay, so moving on from that, from how the game works, let's move into, well, how do you make chains? They look like just putting pieces everywhere and suddenly there's a big chain reaction and boom, you've got something going off. Now what is helpful to use, we call them chaining forms, as I mentioned before. And I'm going to teach us a very basic one, probably the one that most people learn first, and that is called stairs. So for stairs, all you have to do is set up stacks of 3 like this. Like vertical stacks of 3. Don't mind my right hand side, I'm just trying to get rid of the stuff. Okay, and you can see here that I've got 2 stacks of 3, right? Then you put the color that you don't want to be your trigger adjacent. So the blue would usually go there, but we're putting it next to it, right? And that makes reds our trigger. Because once we set off the reds, the blues will match together, right? So let's go do that. 1, 2. Okay, now let's try apply stairs to higher chain levels. Okay. So the stacks again. So blue, you put it next to it. Diagonally, I guess you could say, we're putting it. You can clear off excess stuff on the side while you do this. And then the yellow, it's here, so we put it next to it, adjacent, diagonally. Set off the reds, and the yellows will fall together, and the blues afterwards. I'm kind of going briefly over this because of our time limit, but you know, if you want to investigate further into the world of Puyo, there is a lot more to learn, and this is only one of the many chaining forms that you can learn. So we have the green here, so let's place it over here. Going from red to over here. If you see this changing the password to 4444, okay. I will make sure to remember that. Right, and let's do... Did I do a 4 chain with it already? Let's try to do a 5 chain then. If I didn't, oops. You can mess up the top of the stack as much as you want, as long as you're like not setting the pitch. Just make sure you remember where your trigger is, otherwise you're gonna get exploded and confused. So there we go. You can see how it forms a nice little pattern. You'll recognize the pattern more once you see it like in a larger way, but it might be a bit harder for us, but that's why you start off with small links, then you move up and up and up. And from there, you just chain higher. There's all sorts of stuff ranging from like, there's other chaining forms like sandwich, for example, GTR. There's transitions, which are basically, once you reach a certain point, you're going to reach a wall, right? What do you do at the wall? You stack upwards so that you can keep building on top of your current build. Why don't I show an example of that actually? And then we'll hop into the matches with Blink. That should be good. Okay, so you can see how the yellow forms my transition because it's on top of my blues. The blues are my trigger. You can also build stairs the other way, by the way, like this. So you can see how like the greens are going diagonally instead of like, I'm putting it adjacent to the left instead of the right. So this is a transition. See how I build upwards to the next floor. Okie dokie. And that's basically it. Now we shall move on to the exhibition matches. Oh, sorry, Esther, I didn't need another Puyo player. I think we're fine. Thanks for the offer though. It probably would have been helpful, but oops. I think I've explained most of the game, just simply like that. Anyway, let's go hop into Blink's room. Here we go. Head to head, we're newbies, guys. Yeah, of course we are. Alright, 4, 4, 4, 4. Okie dokie. No connection errors, please. Okay, here we go. You ready? We'll do some Tetris first up, and then we'll do some Puyo Tetris. Should be good. Alright, you ready? Get ready for the lots of O action, because we're both O players. Alright, let's go. Let's apply these concepts now. I'm sorry, that's another alert. That's a follow alert, so thank you for the follow, guys. I have no idea why it's still coming out despite disabling for this, but whatever. Okay. Alright. Doing well. Sending garbage pretty consistently, but looks like Blink's got really clean garbage. Thanks, game. This game is pretty garbage sometimes. Oopsies. Okay, looks like Blink's gone through all his garbage now. Wonderful. Alright. Oh, jeez. Okay. Okay. Do that. T-spin. Just trying to stay alive at this point. So rather than attacking, I'm defending myself. No, I misdropped. No. That's pretty garbage. Why don't you choose that specific character? Do certain characters have certain abilities? In this mode, no, but in party mode and in fusion mode, they have these things called drop sets. And in party, they have different items. Otherwise, it's really just for aesthetic. We just like this character. He's cute and he's cool. And he's obviously the only character we should ever play. No! Oh, looks like he misdropped her. Not gonna matter because I misdropped too. That's fine. Hey. Alright. Okay. Alright, let's spike him. Which is basically like sending lots of garbage at the same time. No! I'm good at this game, guys. I swear. Oh, there's a thing you can do called a donation, which is stacking above your Tetris hole and then doing a T-spin out of it. Yeah, great. Or something like this. Alright. Just trying to keep up at this point. I can throw garbage slowly. Alright, ooh, okay. That's what's going. No. That was bad. Albatross is cool. Characters are personal preference, that's right. Pretty much. Alright, probably last round and then we'll jump into some Puyo Tetris matches where the meta is a little different. And the way the Puyo player goes about playing is rather different. But for the Tetris player, things don't change all too much. Haha! I don't think I can make it perfectly out of this. Oh well, I'll do a T-spin then. Floating T-spin! Okay. Let's go. T-spin again, T-spin single. T-spin double. Start going down. Let's go for a two-spin triple. Nah, no, not triple. Oh, bit of a down stack combo. That's fine. Give it back. Oh, come on, you're high up. Let's not let you recover from this. Gotcha. Alright, nice. So I got around with him. You are really good at DT into perfect clear. Thank you. I've been doing it a lot now. Alright, now we'll switch over to Puyo vs Tetris. Let's go. These matches are usually either really fast or they drag on for a while. So we'll see what happens. Basically, the Tetris player's job is to suffocate the Puyo player by giving them too much garbage to deal with, and the Puyo player's job is to dig out of it and be able to create cool chains. It's an old Draco. I like old Draco. Alright, so the Puyo player has to stack in such a way that they can tank some of the garbage that the Tetris player is sending. Oh, Blink, what have you done? I need more yellows. Alright, whatever. Okie dokie. Okay, the damage conversions are this as well, so it's a bit weird to explain, but it is what it is. Okie dokie. So he looks perfectly fine. I'm just setting off whatever chain I can make. Inferno! Oh jeez, he's near the top, huh? Okay, let's take that. Then set this off here. Oh, he's got a Tetris. Ugh. Okay, let's do a 3-chain. Let's go. Oh, another thing that I should mention actually. What about this? Tetris gets a meter when they're playing against Puyo. Basically, you can like save up attacks or stuff like Blink is doing right now, and then you can send it whenever you need to. This is so that the garbage, like, it isn't like, oh, the Tetris player sends lines and it instantly gets flown over to the Puyo player. Otherwise, they don't have time to react. But in the case of like, it can be used helpfully as well, so you could like make the Puyo player do something, and then set up your attack afterwards, which is pretty devastating, but that's part of the game, yes. That's fine though. As long as you can do it smartly enough, you'll be able to keep up with the Tetris player, until like it reaches the point where the Tetris player is literally too fast to actually do stuff against, like, against top players. Honestly, they're just, like, Blink is a really high level player, but he's not quite at like robot task level, like some people seem to be. So I can actually like keep up with him for the most part. Alright, let's go with this very powerful 2-chain, which we call a Hellfire, which comes from Al, the main protagonist in the older games. Second spell, which is Fire. Right, nice 3-chain. Right, 2-chain, I just want to defend against it. Also, once you get later into the game, there's this thing that we call Margin Time, where, there's my sister. Yeah, it's my sister, guys.
Look, balloon!
Yes, balloon!
Helium one.
Okay. There's a thing called Martin Time, where each of your attacks will be stronger. My sister is really distracting me, right? My sister is
You
distracting.
need to look at the car.
Yeah, I'll look at it when I'm done with this, jeez.
Fine. Bye.
Bye. There's my really obnoxious sister. Yeah. She's fine most of the time. She can be obnoxious sometimes whenever she feels like it. You know, in that specific instant. Okay, let's talk about this. But basically, like, you could see how my attacks were actually sending more to Blink than they were before. But then I forgot what I was doing. That was really annoying. And that basically is a feature that's more so there for lower level players who don't set much to each other, and then matches drag on forever. But we don't want them to drag on for too long. So, you know, the smaller attacks will send more, and so that the game doesn't go on forever and ever and ever. But they're also a helpful thing for Puyo players, because for the most part, margin time is pretty helpful to more so to Puyo players than to Tetris players, except when there's a certain point where singles actually start sending damage to the opponent. And at that point, if you don't have resources to work with, the Tetris player can just lock you out by sending singles or whatnot. It's kind of silly, but yeah. Okay. Let's go. Okay. Alright, so this is a waterfall. Oh, yes it is. Also. Alright, come on, Blink. We've kind of nearly got you now. Not quite. Ah. Alright, let's send this off. Set this off more. It's a 5 check. Very good. Very nice. Yeah, we got him! Alright, and I think that just about does it for today then. That is all for us. We've gone a bit over time, but that was to be expected with the Puyo and Tetris kind of shenanigans. Let's say thanks for joining, and thank you all for joining us today as well. It was a lot of fun being here. Where's thanks for joining? Thanks to Blink for joining, and thank you all for joining us as well. Good stream, yes. Very good stream. Right about done now. Okie dokie, so do we just hop out of the chat and everything for now? Or what? Or do we notify one of the organizers? Because